All right, so to start off your real estate contract training, we are going to be starting off today with the agency disclosure brochure. Now, one of the purposes of this contract training is to not only explain to you what these forms mean, but also give you a good blueprint for how to quickly and efficiently explain these contracts to your clients without having to go line by line, because that can be really time consuming and frankly things to do with your time. So we're going to start off with the agency disclosure brochure, since this is the first form that you should be presenting to any prospects or clients, and then we'll work our way through the buyer side and the seller side as well. So for the agency disclosure brochure, what I like to do is I like to turn it around so that my clients can read it, and then I like to just give them the bullet points. So I always start off with, hey, this is the agency disclosure brochure. This is a form that is required by the Idaho Real Estate Commission for you to be able to see, and I will need a signature just acknowledging receipt. This isn't a contract or anything like that, but I am required to present this to anyone that I'm potentially going to be working with. So I'll run through the bullet points with you, and if you have any questions afterwards, please feel free to let me know. The first point is it's that right now you are a customer. There exists no contractual relationship between yourself and me, but there are still duties that I owe to customers, which is what you are right now. So basically what those duties are is that I perform the acts necessary to complete a real estate transaction in an ethical manner, that I honestly account for any funds, and that I provide basic customer level services in an ethical way. Now, underneath that, you'll see here, you may become a client. Now, our brokerage, we don't actually work with customers. We only work with clients because we feel that all of the people that we work with deserve that level of client care. And since, especially, and now if you're talking to a buyer, you can toss this in. Since you don't pay for any of our services as a buyer, you get these services for free, and we just feel like the people that we work with deserve that client level of care. And so really what the main difference is between being a customer and being a client is that I have to maintain your confidentiality as my client in perpetuity. Going forward on to infinity, I have to maintain your confidentiality. The other thing is that I have to promote your best interests at all times. So, and these are things that we like to provide to our clients all the time anyway. So you might as well become a client. Now, there are different categorizations of client agency. So I'll run through those with you really fast. The first one is agency representation. We also call that single agency. Basically what that means is that I am only representing you guys. We're going to go out and we're going to look at some homes. The homes that we're going to be looking at are represented by their own agents, and their agents are going to promote their client's best interest to the best extent that they can, and I'm going to promote your best to the extent that I can and to the extent that you direct me. This is the most common form of agency that we do here in Idaho. It's probably 95 to 97% of all the transactions are actually single agency. Now, we have two forms of limited dual agency, and what that means is that our brokerage is representing both sides of the transaction. So it could be that I have a listing that you guys really like. Now, in the event that you guys are willing and consent to limited dual agency, I can show you guys that property. That's my listing. And if you guys want to move forward on it and make an offer, basically what I have to do is, because I still have to maintain confidentiality for both sets of clients, I have to kind of take a step back and become a neutral third party. I'm not able to advise you guys on what to offer, on how to negotiate, and I'm not able to advise my selling clients in the same fashion. So basically what I can do is just go to each party and say, hey, what do you want to offer? And then you guys tell me what terms you want. Then I go to my seller and I say, hey, what what do you think about this offer, and how would you like to counter if you would like to counter, and then take that back and forth. I'm kind of acting as a courier between the two parties. So now there's also that's limited dual agency, where I am acting as the agent for both parties. Now, some brokerages offer limited dual agency with assigned agents. That would be where there are two different agents at the same brokerage that are representing two separate clients, but it is still a form of limited dual agency. Now, here at Real Broker, we don't do limited dual agency with assigned agents. We only do it without assigned agents. And so even if there is a listing that, say, is listed by another agent in my office, and I'm representing you guys, I do have to still remain neutral, because there's a limit to the amount of privacy reasonably assure, because we have a shared workspace, we have a shared printer, things can get left out, things like that. Now, I always assure my clients, I'm going to take very good care of you guys, I'm going to keep your information confidential, but for legal purposes, we only offer limited dual agency without assigned agents. Now, if you'll come down on the form here, what to look for in any written agreement with a brokerage. This just basically is information for you, the client. These are things that you want to pay attention to when you're looking at an agency representation agreement, whether that be a buyer's rep or a seller's rep. Really, the main things to pay attention to are starting date, end date, as well as the forms of compensation that are outlined. So, and when we get to the representation agreements, I'll go through those and kind of talk about how I like to explain those different bits of information. And then you just simply get their signature at the bottom, and you're on to the next form.